I've learned so much about how much that piece of gear was used on so many recordings that I grew up and are just a part of my DNA. And now I go back and I hear these old songs, like anything Madonna did in the 80s. And I'm like, oh, there's the DX7. There's the DX7 on the bass. Like it's everywhere. It's all over. And because it was so notoriously difficult to program, a lot of the factory sounds are just on the recordings, which is so fabulous. I love that. You know, I'm not an organ player, but like I am inspired by these. You know, I've been playing around with them, but yeah, I was just fooling around with some of the synth stuff. Hi, my name's Lisa. I play keys in a band called Fast Romantics, and I also have a solo project called Lisa Christina. That's so rich. That's gorgeous. I want that really loud. Don't you turn away now, turn away now. I am tweaking things as I go, depending on the song, depending on the patches, depending on the sounds. But I definitely love, you know, opening filters up and like tweaking drive, and if I'm playing organ sounds, I love to be able to turn on the rotary off and on to like lift certain sections, but it's a lot of different things. And sometimes a lot of different things in one song. So it's nice to be able to toggle back and forth between things, and like split things, sections. So it's a lot of playing. And I love these drawbars, like being able to just open the sound wide. This is definitely though great because like the action is so nice on this that it's like really slick for playing all those like cool organ licks and everything. Yeah. You know, as difficult as that time was, last spring and summer 2020, it was some of the most productive times I've ever had as an artist. Things I'm starting to release now were all written in that time. And I'm so grateful in this really strange way to have had that time, because I've always had other things going on. I've always had to work. So really, in a strange way, I'm kind of grateful to have had that time. Had a bad day in the good land. In the lobby on my cell. No hotel staff could tell. We'll never know what we can't understand. All the comfort in his tone. We were even all alone. Turn away. I demoed that one, the piano sound. Okay. And there was some synth that kind of inspired a little hook in between the chorus. I really dig just the preset synths in this thing. They're kind of like in my vibe, like the 80s, 90s, kind of like, I don't know, melancholy pop vein. I don't know, I dig them. Growing up as a toddler in rural Ontario, I had access to very little pop music, but what we did have was video hits and much music when it finally came. So I saw a lot of pop music videos from the 80s. So that's just kind of baked in. And then as a teenager, I was really into Radiohead, still to this day. Yeah. It's light, yet sturdy, which I really like. It's really well built. And underneath too, it's all really solid and much more tactile than I'm used to with Yamaha, which I really love as well. I love these little switches to switch on the keyboards and the organ, all the different effects, which is great for when you're a live player. You have to be doing things really quickly. I have been demoing a little bit with it just because the piano sounds are so good. I've noticed that playing Yamaha over the years here and there, the piano sounds are always memorable, and I always want to get back to that. It's just maybe because I grew up playing a Yamaha. I still have my childhood piano. It's an A model, just a little apartment size. It's perfect. I'm so happy and grateful to have it in my possession because I write on it all the time. And I, again, grew up playing a Yamaha, so maybe that's why I'm just kind of biased. But, I mean, the recreation of the resonance and just the feel and a lot of the attack is, I don't know, I've only really come across Yamaha as being like the most authentic, close as you can get to the real thing. And Yamaha delivers on the, on the electronic versions, for sure. Like an FM saw pad, like in the factory settings, which I find really there's lots of attack. You're getting that lovely pad extending. Very 80s, which I'm into, very kind of creepy. Kind of like a horn sound in the distance, but it's really rich. higher. That's a looper delay. There's so many different effects that you can manipulate. It's cool. Definitely how tactile everything is. I'm not the kind of player that likes to dig around too much in the menus. So like I like everything kind of laid out where I can see it and get to it and like kind of mess with it when I'm playing live. And the piano sounds, I think, like just as a Yamaha benchmark, and just the synth kind of engine in here for this thing. I'm really into that personally. Again, like I keep coming back to the piano tones, but like I really think that like as a person who considers piano their main tool to write with, and I can't always play my piano at all hours, my acoustic upright, just because I live in the city and there are lots of people around. It's great to have the YC61 in the house, in the studio, so you can really dig in and get those tones that you're really after to like inspire the writing and just inspire the vocal if you're laying down vocals. I think that's probably the most important thing for me, is like being able to recreate the acoustic piano sounds. I'm digging it though. I'm really digging it. Well done, Yamaha. Where does your heart go when I say stay? Could you turn your love away? Stay, stay, stay. Could you turn your love away? There's usually like a little hook on the end there, but I can't play everything.
On the effects, I can change it to like a wall. Turn on that wall a little bit. Like a phase around that. And mind you, I'm not using a sustain pedal, so. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Man.
I blame Guns N' Roses. Yeah, I was classically trained, and then the first like sheet music that I bought that wasn't a conservatory book was November Rain.
Oh, best song
And
ever.
yeah, I like the drawbars. Yeah, gotta say, they just feel great. The organ sounds great. I like the selection of synth pads and strings and things like that. And I like that it's super portable and lightweight, and the interface is just so handy. I grew up in a small town and just started playing with like a couple of rock bands when I was a teenager, like too young to be in the bars. And actually the first keyboard I ever bought was a Yamaha SY35. Yeah, ended up touring with some pop artists, country artists. Been a strange journey. Yeah, so over the last few years I've been touring with Dean Brody, a Canadian country artist, also a British pop singer called Banners, Lindy Ortega, kind of a rootsy country-ish singer, alt country. Yeah, I did some tours with her. That was a lot of fun. I love this one. The slicer effect. The synth was definitely a surprise, because yeah, immediately you see the drawbar. That's going to be great. You just want to get your hands on that. But yeah, once I dug into the synths and some great pads, great like vintage tape strings in there as well, which I love using that kind of sound a lot. Yeah, so it was kind of a lot more synth muscle than I expected there to be, which is cool. I guess I would use it on a gig where I didn't want to bring 7 keyboards, and this just covers everything that you need. See, there's a great filter on that. And you can assign it to the pedal. Yeah, I did kind of discover that because at first my instinct is to do something like layer a piano with a pad and assign that to the pedal. But then I realized when I was in the pedal editing mode that you just grab any knob and it'll assign that. Like, it's very easy to do that on the fly, which is really helpful. So then you can assign it to the filter instead of the volume or whatever you need for that sound. So that was a surprising feature that I just kind of stumbled upon by accident. I'm always the utility guy. It's like, I need to make that sound, like pull off that part. How am I going to do it while I'm doing this other thing or whatever? So it's great that that's a feature in there and that it's so easy to assign it. Yeah, it's pretty easy to set up a split, whether it's a 2-manual organ or electric piano and a synth lead. I like that you just have to press this button, hit your split point, and it's set, and you can move it around and you can set it to any key on the keyboard, not just, predefined intervals. Yeah, doesn't get any easier. Yeah, like the pre-drive versus
and then the output drive.
Yeah, which is cool because that's a real thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And usually, there's just one control for that, but it really just kind of allows you to dial in where the growl starts, like on your expression pedal travel, which is so nice. And even the wind noise is realistic. Yeah. You can dial that back if you want. When I use this on sessions, that's the first thing the engineer said. It's like, oh, it's just too quiet. Hold on a second. And I dialed that back in, and it's like, oh yeah, now that sounds like the real thing.
Amazing.
Funny how we put that back in for authenticity. So I brought this to a session where we were recording piano live with the band, and then I was going to overdub vintage organ at home in my studio. But I brought this along and just said to the producer, like, check this out. If you dig it, we'll use it. If not, we'll hone the part and I'll redo it later. And he loved it, ended up using it, and yeah, it's just another nice thing to be able to walk in with this in a backpack and bring it anywhere and have some great organ sounds. This handled it very easily. easy to set the split point as well. Thank you. That's so cool. Man, that's a lot of fun. I did bring it to the Bud stage last week. Was mostly using electric pianos in that setting. Yeah, in the studio, I've used it for piano, electric piano, and yeah, some of those synth pads are nice. There's just a great selection of them that are all in one device instead of me having to go to multiple keyboards to find what I'm looking for. Wow, Yamaha makes great pianos. And snowmobiles. Yeah, a C7 is just such a standard grand wherever you go, and even like the U1 is one of my favorites. In some ways, I prefer like a U1 upright. It just has a different character. For some things, I prefer that more than a grand. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like the real deal. It's Yamaha. Another thing I like about the drawbars, when you're on a split and you switch between your upper or your lower drawbar setting, they're different colors, which means you're never going to get lost on the wrong page.
Right.
Very smart. It doesn't seem like a big thing, but I like little features like that. Yeah, and making this the Leslie switch, brilliant. And they feel great. Yeah, I think it's a great design having the organ like engine all in one place, and then keys. It's just kind of linear the way I look at it, and the effects being able to select which turn them on and then select which sound you're assigning them to, or all three. It just makes sense. It's very intuitive, kind of just left to right. The EQ at the end is very usable. Not every built-in EQ really makes sense on a gig, but this one, like the frequencies are set where they should be for it to do its job. That feels pretty amazing for a waterfall keyboard for electric piano stuff. It's always been a bit of a trade-off. Do you want weighted keys for piano, or something that feels better for organ? But for an all-in-one keyboard, this one feels pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that problem where, like, if it doesn't feel authentic, it doesn't matter how good it sounds. Like, you might hear the recording back after and be like, oh, it's not so bad, but while you're playing it, if it doesn't feel right, it's not convincing.
Totally.
So then you're not really believing in what you're playing.
Yeah.
And that's no good. The piano sounds really cut through, and I find that there are piano sounds that work when you're playing solo piano, and then there's sounds that cut through a band, and you might not like it as much playing solo, but yeah, this has got everything you need. And yeah, I'll always ask for feedback that, if you're carving out a certain frequency, like, just tell me and I'll fix it at the source here. So it's nice that you can do that, dial in some compression, dial in the EQ, and then just save that in the preset. So it's always, ready to go and make everyone else's life easier. It's just a great all-around keyboard and very versatile. I love how portable it is, and yeah, look forward to making a lot of music with it.